Take a seat, Samler. Welcome back to Tom Plays Europa Universalis 4 for absolute beginners. We're back with the Ottomans, just taken down Kanda. Set the time going. And everyone's claiming our land again. Literally everyone wants our land. Grief. Okay, so where are we up to? Right, one thing I don't think I had mentioned. These four icons up here, these are representatives we have at our disposal. So we've got some merchants, which are currently all busy. So we've got 0 of 2 available. We don't have any colonists, we're not going to have any colonists, so we don't need to worry about those. These are diplomats who've been making good use of them. We've currently got 1 of the 3 we have available. They also do the spying for us. And these are missionaries. And again, we have a missionary down here, working hard. So one thing that, actually before we do anything else, we should really mothball these forts. So we just head over to the military screen, mothball all forts. It'll just save us a bit of money. It's always worth keeping an eye on your economics. You see, we're not gaining much money even with the forts mothballed, so it's worth doing. Okay, so we're getting ready to attack Constantinople, so it's worth right-clicking on them, going to the diplomacy screen, seeing where we are up to. We are in a position to fabricate some claims. We're not going to be able to do everything, but let's do the 2 that we can. So I'm going to fabricate a claim on Constantinople first, which is really what we want. And that's given us a conquest casus belli, a reason to attack them. And I suppose Achaia might be the best next option, because at least it's next to us. And we're going to need 30 to make a claim on Moria. And actually, if we go to Athens, we can't build a spy network because they're a subject state, but we only need 20 to make a claim on Athens, so that should probably be our next move. But that claim will be based on the spy network in Byzantium. Okay, so another thing that's worth doing while we're gearing up for war is to go to the diplomacy screen again and actually choose declare war. You're given a choice of how to do it, so you can still back out quite happily at this point. So apparently, apart from Athens, their ally is Wallachia, which isn't too bad. They're not a huge country. Could have been a lot worse. I think we've got a decent chance of holding our own against Wallachia. It almost makes me wonder if we ought to be putting claims in on some of their land as well. I might do that simply because if we get them to give up on the war, we might have an easier time just maybe taking a little bit of their land, and it is something we're going to want later. Looking at the mission tree, where would that be? So we conquer Constantinople, then we have to conquer Greece, which is the other ones we're looking at, and then Serbia, in theory, Bosnia, and there's Wallachia. So we are going to want them at some point. It'll be much easier to conquer them once we're on the mission. But I have no particular objection to taking maybe one province as a part of this war. Venice is currently attacking Serbia themselves, which is going to be fun. We may end up fighting Venice for that land. This here is Moldavia. We had a message at the end of last week telling us that Poland has made them a vassal. So hopefully we won't need to attack them anytime soon. What else is there? A little warning's appeared, telling us we have uncontested claims that will expire. We should have a fair amount of time to go. I think we should have time, if our spy isn't detected, to make claims on Athens and Moria as well. So I'm not too worried. Hopefully we'll have time to build our armies back up as well. We shall see. Who's having a fight in my land? Terrible. Karaman is also claiming our land. Hungary has been caught building a spy network. We're doing relatively well apart from this business with Ramazan. Let's just see how we're doing. Okay, so they would still accept vassalization if we could do it. We've got quite a way to go with improving relations. They're not happy about having been at war with us, they're not happy about the way we've been expanding into their area. But on the whole, they still look quite vassalizable. Remember, we have to get this to 190, their opinion of us. And improved relations should be able to get us to plus 100. As in, it can go to plus 100, so we should be able to get an extra 95 out of that. We might need to do some other things in order to get it a bit up, giving them gifts, things like that, subsidies. We'll see. Looks hopeful, at least. What have we got? Okay, this looks good. I would generally say it's always worth doing this. There's an equivalent for diplomatic power and military power as well, I think. Certainly diplomatic. So it's going to hurt us a little financially, but the administrative power is well worth that. Okay, how's our spy network doing? 1232. I think we're almost reaching the point where I might want to actually speed the time up. Where are our diplomats? Okay, we're improving relations with Bohemia. And we're building 2 spy networks. That's fair enough. Okay, let's tentatively go a little faster. Watch the spy network grow a little. Almost everything that happens at the turn of the month. Not so much events and such like, but winning or losing money, uprisings, all sorts of things. So it's always important to keep an eye on how close you are to the end of the month. Okay, just deal with this. New technology, brilliant. So we've got enough administrative points to obtain some new technology. So we're definitely going to do that. Apparently we're ahead of time. And we've also now got the ability to build mosques, which is brilliant. So there's a number of buildings. Province improvements, as it calls them here. Haven't worried about them too much so far because the only option has been a castle, which can be useful, but I often find that the ones you start with are useful enough, and sometimes you even want to get rid of some. So I don't often build castles. You can upgrade them later, which may well be worth doing, especially if you find them useful, and there are reasons to build them. But one of the most vital things we can build is, they call it a temple in the basic game. In this case it's a mosque. There's actually, I believe, on most mission trees, something relating to it. Build buildings. It tries to give you an impression of which buildings are the most important to build. So we want at least 5 mosques and at least 5 workshops. We can't currently build workshops. but the mosques are also extremely useful. So I've chosen the mosque here, and what you'll see is on each province it gives you an idea of how valuable the mosque is going to be. And generally, I believe we're looking at the section in green. So for the temples of various kinds, mosque, churches, whatever you have, they will actually give you the straight income that they say they're going to give you. So given that we need to build at least 5 once we have the money, we want to start with whichever province is going to give us the best monetary return, which in this case is Edirne, which gives us a plus 0.23 every month. So we click there. We can't afford to build any others. So we've got the colour to tell us we can't build, the red, and the nice blue and yellow stripes to tell us that we're currently building. The icon to build province improvements has disappeared. It should reappear when we have enough money again, although it does vary from improvement to improvement. So not a big deal, and you can see there's a little progress bar now, which will tell us how close we are to building the mosque. Once we do build it, we should have a slightly better income, which is always worth having. Brilliant. Okay, so spy network again. We've just gone above 20. That isn't enough to allow us to fabricate a claim on Byzantium anymore, because we have 2 claims already. But Athens, their vassal, we can now fabricate a claim on. So there is now only 1 province owned by Byzantium that we do not have a claim on. If our spy gets caught, we'll probably have to go to war with just those 3. If a spy isn't caught, then as soon as this gets to 30 again, we should be able to make the final claim, and we should be ready to go in terms of war. Although we still haven't rebuilt our forces yet. You do sometimes have to take your time in this game. It runs from 1444 to 1821, so you do have a fair amount of time. Although it's amazing how short that time can seem if you're trying to conquer as much land as possible. Okay, Wallachia. Not ready to make a claim there yet, but we're getting there. So, let's tentatively speed up time again. This is something we started last week. Basically, the province that we took, probably both provinces we took, yes, we started making them cores, and we've now succeeded in doing so. So they're completely considered to be ours now. We can use them like a normal province. We can get the full tax out of them. And we've just gained the ability to invest in another technology. So this time it's military, which is really worth having. You really do not want to fall behind in military technology. Generally, if someone has a higher military technology than you, you're better off not attacking them if you can avoid it. Certainly if they're 2 ahead. So, Pike Square. One thing to watch with the military technology is sometimes it causes you to reconfigure your army, which can temporarily lower morale. In this case it hasn't, so there was no problem here, but you might want to avoid doing this in the middle of a war. Certainly when you're close to a battle. Okay. So, main improvements for armies. If I right click on Wallachia again, you can actually see their levels of technology up here on the right. The only one that really matters is the military technology. So they're now on level 3, and we're on level 4, which is good. Byzantium is also level 3. So in some ways this would be a good time to attack, but I haven't finished all my claims yet. So still a little disinclined to. Plus they may well hit 4 at any moment. I doubt we've had time to get very far ahead yet. Serbian noble rebels. Things are not going well for Serbia. Okay, we can now fabricate a claim in Wallachia. Albania is also attacking Serbia. Things really aren't going well for Serbia. So, let's just claim Altenia. I'm not sure if I'm likely to claim another place. Probably not, to be honest, so I might just stop building the spy network there. That's really just intended as a bonus, just if they join in the war when we attack Constantinople. When, hopefully, we force them to make a peace, we can get a bit of land from them. Okay, cancelled access. Byzantium is claiming things. Ragasa is now attacking Bosnia. The Europeans are all going at it. And we're almost to full army strength. Okay, so, actually thinking about it, I would like to start improving relations with Ramazan. Hopefully that'll put us in a good position. Once this is over, the mosque is making progress. Excellent. Right, so now we need to get this to 30, so definitely going to speed up. Well, I had a spy and we've caught them. Karaman is attacking Dulkadir. Okay, go back down. Right, I think. Interesting. So this is related to religion. Our piety scale. We're in theory heading towards legalism, but I did say that anything sufficiently important, I wouldn't necessarily avoid mysticism. This is about the Sufis. I see. So in effect, generally speaking, we are against the Sufis because we're moving towards legalism, but in this case, one of the Sufi orders has started urging his followers to join our armies. I have to say, especially since gaining 10 legitimacy isn't going to do as much good because the maximum is 100, I think we should bite the bullet this time and accept the manpower. We've improved relations with Bohemia as much as we can. So let us head down to our other large ally, Akkoyunlu. And as soon as the diplomat's back, he's currently at 0. Once he pops back in, and that becomes 1, we can start improving relations with them as well. If we're incredibly lucky, we might even get some help when we attack Constantinople. I'm not going to count on it though. Slightly surprised we don't have a royal marriage with them yet. Not that important though. Right, excellent. Okay, spy network. Still a way to go, so speed up time again. Truce with Karaman has ended. They're probably going to be our next target. I believe we already have claims on their lands due to the mission tree. Okay. More technology. And this will be the diplomatic one. This gives us marketplaces. Marketplaces are related to trade. They can be useful in certain circumstances, but for us, probably not that useful, and may not make any. Certainly want to make the temples first. The mosques, I should say. Okay, truce ended. Ooh, okay, this is reasonably important. These are institutions. They're not something we're going to worry about too much, because the Ottomans usually do fine without having to pay too much attention to them. But in effect, the Renaissance has launched in Italy, and it will now gradually spread across the world. We will find that we'll start getting a tech penalty until we embrace it. So to embrace it, you need it to spread across your country, and you also need money. The more it spreads across your country, the less money you need. We're not really going to track it, but it's worth being aware of, because when we do other countries later, we will have to really pay attention to this. And there may be one or two things I do to try to encourage it to fire in our country, if possible. But we'll see. Truce has ended. Truce, 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 truce. And we have humiliate rival. Right, now what that should mean is that when we do have a diplomat again, we can do the trade embargoes that we weren't allowed to do before. But for now, still want to focus on this spy network. Come on, spies. Okay, what have we got now? Oh, excellent. So we could actually build ships for less money now, should we wish to. We've lost one of our advisors. Serbia's cancelled the military access they asked for. That's nothing to worry about. However, the ships maybe. Did we lose our light ships? I think we may have done. Go to the military screen, see how many ships we've got. Nope, we still have our light ships. Okay. Now this is the one problem with having allies. You can get called into their wars as well. Conquest Alumsia against Samska. Well, it hasn't mentioned any allies, which suggests that this place they're attacking may be alone. And they're not a name I actually recognise. So I think I'm going to tentatively accept. But I'm not necessarily going to actually do anything to help, which is terrible, I know. But I'm hoping this is someone small enough that they can deal with it themselves. Hopefully. I'm certainly struggling to find them on a map. I suppose we'll find out. Okay, so the other thing was ships. I was considering building some ships while the cost is lower. So this again, production interface, allows you to build troops and ships and many other things. So let's just build a few galleys. So these are the less powerful military ships, which nonetheless get an advantage in inland seas, which is all we're using. I should actually keep an eye on my force limit as well. Oh yeah, we are way below our force limit. So, no worry there. I still wish I could work out where this country was that they were attacking. I want to know for a threat. I'm thinking not, so I'm actually going to mothball my forts again. Because we've gone to war, all our forts have become unmothballed. But it doesn't look like this enemy, whoever they are, is actually in a position to attack us. Oh, here they are. I see. That's unfortunate, because we'll probably want that land as well, but never mind. Pretty sure they don't need our help. So, there you go, and we're finally nearly there. The problem is, if Caracalla is at war, they're a lot less likely to be willing to help us when we go to war. Reduce the power of your ulema. Okay, ulema. That's basically the clergy. By rerouting revenues. Ooh, illegal under Islamic law. I would say we should not do that. Don't really want to go breaking Islamic law, thank you, if I can avoid it. One thing I do notice is we're back up to 50 for the merchant guilds, so we can actually ask for a contribution. That takes us down to 40, which is just about fine. So it's worth doing that about halfway between the standard get administrative, diplomatic and military power that that screen provides us with at the moment. And we also need to replace our dead advisor. National tax modifier is probably a good one, and he's the only +1 available anyway, so he's the only one that isn't going to cost us far too much at this stage. Well, we could maybe have afforded more. Okay, one other thing I noticed is that we actually have a force limit of 36 on land now. So I'm going to build one more infantry. Okay, we can now fabricate a claim on Moria. I'm going to stop the spy network. And I think we're ready to go with the attack. So we better get started. So no one's going to help us. Bohemia thinks it's too far away, Ramazan don't trust us, Karakoyunlu also think it's too far away and they're fighting in another war. Thanks guys, I really appreciate your support. I'm going to put take Constantinople because that is the one thing we really want to do. Wallachia is in no danger of saying no, so we're just going to have to go for it. I'm going to pause it. The reason I'm pausing it is it allows us to immediately move into their land. Now I'm going to bring, instead of attacking these people, I'm going to head up to Wallachia with these troops. It looks like I don't need to do war taxes, so that's good. Unfortunately, my new infantry is going to appear there, so I'll have to make sure he doesn't get attacked when he appears. And here we go with the fighting. The generals are roughly evenly matched. I grossly outnumber them. Excellent. You see they have quite a decent navy flying around here, so I'm deliberately keeping mine grounded. I'm hoping my trading ships, yep, they managed to get to port as well, so these navies can't really hurt us. They might stop us from crossing this line, but everything we want to fight is on this line. It actually handily gives me an excuse for not helping in this war. Okay. Right, this infantry has now been built. Send them over to help in Constantinople. Now I haven't seen anything appear from here, so let me just double check. Yes, Wallachia is definitely in this fight. So I should attack them. I'm just not sure where they've got to. Okay, so if I click on this province, you can see we're currently sieging them. We currently have no chance of winning. Let's see, that's not something that really concerns us. I'm just going to combine those two armies. Ah, here's Wallachia. So there's really nothing to do but wait. Thankfully Wallachia doesn't look that threatening. But we're going to be playing a waiting game until one of these sieges breaks. At which point we can carry on the fighting. Ah. Okay, we finally converted Sivas. So we should see if there's anyone else. Kesria. Going to take forever, but doesn't cost very much. So let's start on that. Doesn't hurt, it'll help with country unity. We're actually making some good progress here, which is good. Supply shortage. There's now a 77% chance. A 7% chance, sorry, that they will just surrender. And again, this is something that happens on the turn of the month. Supply shortage again, so we now got a 14% chance of them surrendering. Karakoyunlu have succeeded in their war. It'd be nice to think that we'd get a little message telling us we could summon them to ours. But at the same time, nothing scary seems to have happened. We seem to be able to overpower Wallachia and Byzantium. Excellent. We've won the siege. So I'm going to immediately attack their capital. Okay, so Byzantium is attacking us here. Can't really help it though. I need to take this opportunity to wipe out the Wallachian army. And ideally take Wallachia out of the war. So again, we're evenly matched on generals, but we grossly outnumber them. So we're now going to start on this siege, but I'm hoping Constantinople will fall. At which point we can take this army over here and fight the rest of the Byzantines. Okay. In the meantime, they're happily taking our land because there's no forts on it. So this is the useful thing of forts. You can prevent your enemies from happily running around your countryside and taking all your land. Wonderful. Okay, we now have Constantinople. So I'm going to count on being able to beat these people. I'm going to speed up time anyway though, because it's going to take a long time to walk across the whole of Turkey. But it doesn't look to me like these people should be able to stand against us, even if we occupy good terrain. I think we outnumber them too much. I might just take these lands back, because it won't take long, and it does help with the war score. Yes, of course. Hungary has embargoed us, which is something we should be doing to them. In fact, while I'm doing this, let's just go and do that. So our rivals, I believe, are Hungary. Have a trade embargo. So that will lose us the trade dispute Casus Belli, which we had because they had a trade embargo and we didn't. Looks like Ragusa and Bosnia severely hurt... Oh no, sorry, Venice severely hurt Bosnia and Serbia. And Albania has grown. Okay, so Venice is also a rival, so they can also have an embargo. You should only embargo your rivals, because otherwise it basically costs you money. We can see it in the trade tab, which we haven't touched much. So we have 3 embargoes on our 3 rivals, which is how it should be. Brilliant. See, Wallachia is now sending armies across to make our lives miserable. Wonderful. Let's just speed things up a little. Okay. I'm just going to head over here. We actually have a fort here, I think. So we shouldn't have any problem taking them on with 3 times the men and... well, even though they do have a better general. immediately going to attack Athens now. Start sieging Athens. Thankfully, we do have land access to all of this, so they can't stop us from attacking using ships. Sorry, just change direction there. If it was just borders like these little X's, we wouldn't actually be able to attack. Which would make it hard to get a decent war score. As it is, we're doing very well. 83%. Okay, back to Athens. I actually completely failed to notice that we had actually taken this land. Excellent. Right, so I'm going to take the rest of the Wallachian lands and hopefully get them to make a peace individually. Okay, what have we got here? A great man. We can get a skill 2. Okay, I'm concerned about affording a skill 2 advisor because we do still need money, we do still need to build buildings. And the nice thing about this is it actually gives one of our provinces better defence until the end of the game, which is quite valuable given we're only 8 years in. So I'm going to let him stay home and speed the time up a bit. It's going to focus on taking all the Wallachian province. Actually, we probably don't need to. Okay, we've finished improving relations with Achaeunla. Finished improving relations with Ramazan. But we still can't... Oh, we almost can. So if we proclaim a guarantee on them, and then we need to give them a gift, and that should just do it. Now I'm actually just thinking, seeing as we're only expecting to get one province out of this, we may not need to take all of Wallachia's lands. Although possibly we should anyway, there's nothing stopping us. They're not really in a position to fight back, are they? Anyway, while they're taking that, I'm just going to head down to Ramazan. Apparently I can't give them a gift. Oh, I can. Excellent. And nice and easy, I only need to give them 25 ducats, and that actually improves our relations by 25, which is the most you can get. So you see we're now well above 190. Wallachia is actually offering a peace offer. So they're going to give us Oltania and pay us 115 ducats. It's an option. I'm just curious. I want to see what other options we might have before agreeing to that. Okay, so we're just waiting for 20th of May. We should be able to get Ramazan as a vassal. We apparently have an uprising coming soon. Kandar. So it does tell you, if you hover over this too, there's 2 possible provinces they could arrive in. Not surprisingly, they're the 2 that used to be Kandar. And it's going to be 13,000 people. It's not about to happen yet. Okay, we're now past the 20th of May. Head to Ramazan, offer vassalization. They have accepted. They are now our vassal. Our first. Brilliant. Brilliant. Okay, we now have all of Wallachia's lands. Let's just free this piece of land up. Non-Muslims face restrictions. Let's see. Now this is interesting. I am actually, partly because the Ulema estate is actually above average loyalty, and partly because My intention is to make this a place where everyone can live. I'm not going to enforce this one, even though it moves us towards mysticism, which I've been doing a lot of lately. Okay. This will be ours on the 12th of July. Let's just speed this up a little. Right. I'm going to head across a bit, but we should be able to make peace. If I sue for peace, suggested demands is more or less what they offered us. They will give us the province we wanted. I just want to make sure, out of these options, there's one over here. We can't make them a vassal. So, that's fair enough. We'll go with suggested demands. Hungary is now attacking Serbia. Why does everyone hate Serbia today? Wallachia has given us one province, which we're going to make into a core. We also no longer need to fight them, which means I can move these troops down to Achaia. So hopefully, going to maximum speed now because I'm aware that I have gone significantly over time today. Won the siege of Athens. Excellent. I have a feeling this person is heading to a boat. Looks like I might have just caught them in time. Can't see any troops, so hopefully we can siege this down quickly, and I think I'm going to have to stop there. In theory we're on 99 now, but we're almost there, and it is possible to get to 100. I'm hoping we can just annex them completely. Okay, Venice has embraced the Renaissance. Ooh, okay. What have we got? Plight of Selenik. I see. Yes. Yes, we are going to try to be a good ruler. Plus it actually wasn't that much more. Nope. There we go. Kandari Separatists. I'm sure they have. Yeah, I'm going to send someone over there, but it's going to take a while for them to arrive. And in the meantime, we'll keep sieging this province. Karaman is claiming our land. Okay, so over to Byzantium. Suggest demands full annexation, which is definitely what we want. Brilliant. Okay. So just attack Sinop. And we're going to have a lot of stuff to do. But I really should stop there. Apologise for going over by so much. There's going to be a hell of a lot of stuff to deal with next week, but for now, that is it. We have effectively wiped Byzantium off the face of the earth. And we will be continuing on our terrible path of conquest next week. I'll see you then.